Everyone, and welcome back to the Damsel in Success podcast. I am super excited to have you back here with me today. Just got off the ball field. Lord have mercy, my youngest one had a baseball game today, and my oldest one thinks he's a coach now. So he was out there coaching all the little ones, and I was just trying to hold it together. Lord have mercy. That's the great thing about fall ball is that they get to practice, and we don't have to freak out as much as moms. So that's awesome. It's really great there for our nerves. So for you fellow fall ball moms, y'all know what I'm talking about. But I wanted to talk to you guys about something. I was just kind of thinking about it for the past couple of days, and I wanted to figure out exactly how I wanted to word everything. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. Just free it. Just let it out because it's been sitting inside and it's gonna go sour if I don't just get it out. So we're gonna just get it out. Life is just not made to order, because anytime that you go to like a fast food joint or whatever, you can, I want a number 3 with fries and a Coke. All right, cool. And most of the time you get your number 3 with fries and a Coke. Most of the time. Sometimes you just get, dealer's choice. Whatever comes in there, you just deal with it. But life just doesn't work that way, You go up and you say, all right, God, I want a happy marriage and I want 2 kids and, I want a perfect job, but then I also want to be able to stay home and I want a mansion and I want this really nice car and, I want my spouse to be this, this, and this and I want my life to be this, this, and this and I want to have time for everything and I never want to freak out and, all that sounds really, really great, but that's just not how life works, right? You see, I remember very, very, just very clearly, we were in middle school, and it was pretty cool actually. We had taken a field trip to like the next town over. They had in their gym they had like a real life setup, right? And you had to like draw cards for whether you were married or divorced or single or whatever, and then you drew another card for how many kids that you had, and then you would go to each one of these little stations. And like there was one station where you had to like draw a card for your job and you had to like, figure out how much that you were going to budget on food each month. Like they had 3 different food tiers. It was like ramen noodles, cheeseburgers, or steak. And that was like your 3 food groups that you got, which is kind of funny. It's like, it's kind of sad, but it's kind of funny. But the I was just thinking about that the other day, and I'm like, man, I was in middle school, maybe even high school, but I'm pretty sure it was like middle school. And I remember if we didn't like what we drew, we would like shuffle it around and try to draw something out, And it's just funny because, our choices have a lot of bearing on what comes out of life and what we get out of life. So it's not all just a luck of the draw, but it kind of is at the same time because, as much as we want to control our life and as much as we want to, plan everything out and have everything exactly how that we think it should go, we as humans tend to be so selfish and like we can only think of what's good for us right here, right now, just us. That's about all the capacity that we have, right? But, we serve a God who is all-knowing and knows what's best for us. Even if it feels like that it's just horrible at the time, he knows what's best to us. So whenever we draw a card that may not be what we want to be, instead of shoveling it around and trying to get something else, and again, trying to take that control whenever we don't even have a clue what we're doing, why can't we just sit back and say, okay, God, I know there's a reason for this. I thank you for the opportunity to grow or to whatever that I've got to do and move on with it. Because, what does worrying ever change? Has worrying ever done anything for anybody? I know it hadn't for me. All worry does is steal your joy from the present about worrying about something that probably won't even happen. Because if you guys are worry warts, which Lord knows, I'm the worst worry wart that there has ever been, okay? But sitting there and worrying about something and freaking out about something and just having a high-speed come apart over all these ridiculous scenarios that probably would never, ever in a million years even happen, all that does is just steals the joy from your present. So I want you guys to think about that. While we think that we may know what's best for us, we just don't. We just don't. We can plan out our lives and everything, and I think it's awesome to have a plan. Y'all know I am like the queen of plans. I think plans and goals and all that are really, really spectacular. But don't forget to include God on those plans and those goals. Because, I had my whole life planned out whenever I was in high school. Was anybody else smarter in high school than they are now? Yeah, I know I was. I wish that I was half as smart as I thought I was in high school because I ain't know nothing. Nothing. Um, but, I just think that it's funny how drastically different things turn out than what I would have. If I had have been in charge, things wouldn't be like that they are. But I am so glad that God has continually put me in my place and said, sit down and shut up and let me handle things. And I'm like, okay. You know? Because what else are you going to do? And, because of his grace and, thank God he is a forgiving, loving God because, y'all, I have messed up a ton. But I am so thankful that I did finally sit down and shut up and just let him take over. And, that's a very scary thought to not be in control and to not know what's going to happen. But, even though we may not know what's going to happen, we always know that it's going to be okay. It may not be okay right now, but it will be okay. It will always be okay. And I know that's so, so hard. But y'all, there is only room for one thing in your mind between fear and faith, and there's only room for one. You can't have both. So you got to pick. Are you going to have that fear or are you going to have that faith? Because I've been in both scenarios, and I can promise you that if you have that faith, you are going to be so much happier. You are going to be so much less stressed out, and you are going to have a better life. I promise you that right now. So I hope that you guys have an amazing, amazing Tuesday, and we will talk to you again soon.